Yet? Hello, is it recording yet? Yep, it's recording. Here's the third video in the trig function for Spring 2019 Math 3 second semester final review. Remember, all these concepts are not all-inclusive. You are responsible for studying everything we've learned the entire year long. Okay, so we're going to write a function that models the graph. I just copied this off one of the tests from topic 6. Here's our graph. We're going to mark on this sum and some on the yellow page too. Okay, so it says write a trig function that models the average temperature. So let's see, the maximum is on the y-axis, so are we going to use sine or cosine? Does anybody remember? Yeah, it's going to be cosine. It's going to be cosine because the maximum is on the y-axis. The student has to go immediately. Gwen. Okay, so when we're going to use cosine, let's write down our general form. Go right now. Let's see. A good thing to memorize for sine and cosine when you're going to try to graph is going to be the general form. Now we're going to use A, B, H, and K because that's what I've taught you all year long. But like I said in a later video, further on textbooks are going to classify these as A, B, C, and D. As long as you understand where C and D are and they do the same things that H and K do, you should be fine. So here's the general form. A is the amplitude, cosine, and then you have your period amplifier is multiplied times x, and then you have, if there's any phase shift, horizontal translation, and then if there's a midline shift. Okay? So that's the general form, and that really you should memorize that, where stuff goes before you analyze the graph. Any questions on this right here? I've just been talking about it. So let's start with the easy stuff. Let's talk about what's our maximum. Let's say our maximum is 15 and our minimum is 2.5. What did we do on that previous video to find amplitude, right? Amplitude is equal to 1/2 of max minus min. Okay, so that's going to be, what's 15 minus 2.5? Is that 12.5? What's half of 12.5? Somebody help me out. Good job, 6.25. Okay, so our amplitude is 6.25. Now, to find the midline is right there. It looks like it's between 7.5 and 10, right? To find the midline, you just take your amplitude and add it to your min. So I'm going to take 2.5 plus 6.25. This is to find the midline. Isn't that 8.75? Okay, so our K is equal to 8.75. Now the only thing we got to do left is figure out what the period is for B. Do I have a phase shift for this graph? No, I don't. I can use cosine. There's no reason to put in an H because the maximum is going to be on the y-axis. So there's going to be no H. All we have to do is figure out the period. Remember, the period of cosine functions is going to equal 2 pi over b. Everybody remember that? So what is the period of this function? Doesn't it go from here to there? So the period is 24 hours. The period is 24 hours. All we have to do is solve for b. So let's swap these two places right here. 2 pi over 24 equals b. Simplify, that's pi over 12. So our equation is going to be, I know I didn't leave myself much space, so the equation is y equals amplitude 6.25 cosine pi over 12x plus 8.75. Any questions on that one? We're going to have to stop this video here and get to the shadow problem next. Are you sure there's no questions on everything I just calculated there? That same analysis for the different parameters, A, B, C, and D, or A, B, H, and K, you guys need to be able to go through that same analysis for any graph you might be given. Okay? I recommend putting this type of thing in Desmos and using the sliders like we did one lesson way back in topic 6. That can help you see how the things change based on the parameters changing. All right, that's it for this video.